The Cat Who Cut Her Claws. There was once a most beautiful cat called Smoky. She was the colour of blue-grey smoke and had long, thick fur and lovely golden eyes. Everybody thought she was wonderful. Smoky thought herself wonderful too. When she sat washing herself on the wall, she loved to see people looking up at her and saying, "Oh, look at that marvellous cat." The other cats thought she was lovely too, but they didn't tell her so, because they thought she was vain enough already. "Meow, you know," said Cinders the black cat, "Smoky is really rather foolish. She can't even catch a mouse." Now Smoky was just the other side of the wall, and she heard what Cinders said. She jumped up onto the wall and spat at Cinders in a very rude way. "I'm very clever indeed," she said. "You may not think so, but the two-legged people do. They are always telling me so. Why, I can even rattle a little door handle to let people know I want to get into a room." Meow. "Really?" said Tabby, a grey-striped little cat. "Well, I don't do that, Smoky. I just jump in at the window." The cats laughed, and Smoky jumped down in a temper. She went into her house and looked for her mistress, who always made a great fuss of her. She was in her bedroom, dressing herself ready to go out. "Hello, Smoky, darling," she said. "What a beauty you are! But what have you been doing to your lovely fur? You have dust on it." Smoky's mistress took a little brush that she kept specially for the cat and brushed her fur well. Smoky purred. What did the other cats know about having their fur brushed? What other cat had a basket with a silk cushion in it? What other cat had a white china bowl with her name on as Smoky had? Smoky sat and looked at her mistress. She saw her wash her hands and face. "I do that too," thought Smoky, "but my tongue and paws have my soap and sponge." Then her mistress brushed her hair. "My hair has been brushed too," thought Smoky proudly. "I am really much more like a two-legged creature than a cat." Her mistress sprayed herself with such a sweet-smelling scent. Smoky sniffed the smell and liked it. She stood up and mewed to her mistress. "What, you want some scent too?" said her mistress, laughing. "Very well, I will spray it in the air for you." So Smoky had some scent like her mistress, and she felt so proud that she really couldn't sit still any longer, but went prowling up and down the room, purring loudly. "And now I must do my nails," said Smoky's mistress, getting out a little nail scissors and file and tiny bottle of varnish. "Ah, nails," thought Smoky, and came close to see what her mistress was going to do. "Mistress always calls her claws nails. What does she do to them? I must watch." Smoky watched her mistress trimming her nails and filing them shorter. She watched her paint them with a little pale pink stuff from the tiny bottle to make them shiny. "There," said Smoky's mistress, showing the cat her nails. "Don't they look nice? They're not horribly sharp and long like yours, Smoky. Oh, I should hate to have cat's claws. Good gracious, look at the time. I must run or I'll miss my bus." She ran downstairs and left Smoky in the bedroom. Smoky looked at the nail scissors and file and the tiny bottle. So her nails were horribly sharp and long. Well, why shouldn't she cut them and paint them a pretty pale pink so they shone like glass? "I am washed, I am brushed, I've got scent on me," thought Smoky, "and now I don't see why I shouldn't make my claws into nails. I shall really be like my mistress then." So what do you think that vain cat did? She cut off the sharp points of her 18 claws. She filed them down neatly, and then she tried to put the shiny varnish on them out of the little bottle, but she upset it and made a great mess on the carpet. She put out her claws and dipped them all into the spilt varnish, and then she let them dry, and soon they were as shiny as her mistresses had been. How proud she was! "Meow must go and show all the other cats," she said. "They will certainly think I'm clever to have nails instead of claws. Meow." So off she went and meowed so loudly that every cat from the gardens around came running at once. Smoky sat on the ground and looked at the cats with her big, golden eyes. "Meow, look how clever I am," she said, putting out her short, blunt, shiny claws. "I have nails instead of claws. I watched how my mistress did it, and now I'm like her. Smell me too. She put some of her scent on me." The cats looked at the strange claws in surprise. They turned up their noses at the sweet smell that came from Smoky. "No, you are foolish," said Cinders. "Very, very foolish. You think you are clever, but soon you will find out how silly you are, and you'll be sorry that you have nails instead of claws." "You only say that because you are jealous of me," said Smoky grandly. "I know that you'll wish you had nails instead of claws, but I shan't tell you how to get them. That is my secret." "We don't want to know," said Tabby. "Listen, a dog!" cried Cinders suddenly. He was right. In at the gate rushed a big dog, his pink tongue hanging out, his eyes gleaming to see so many cats to chase. "Roo!" he said, and ran towards the little crowd of frightened animals. Tabby rushed up a tree. Cinders leapt up at the fence. The others ran for their lives, and so did Smoky. Smoky had such a curious and unusual smell that the dog chose to chase her. So down the garden went Smoky, and after her went the dog, barking madly. Smoky was terrified. She ran, and the dog ran too. I must jump up a tree," panted poor Smoky. So she ran to a tree and tried to claw her way up it, but alas for Smoky, her claws were now only short blunt nails, and she couldn't dig them into the bark of the tree and hold on as she leapt up. She fell down to the ground, and the dog nearly caught her. Off she went again, feeling more afraid than ever. She couldn't even fight the dog, for she had no claws to claw him with. Oh, how could she have been so foolish as to make her fine claws into useless nails? Goodness knows what would have happened to poor Smoky if Cinders and Tabby hadn't come to her rescue. They knew that she now had no sharp claws and would sooner or later be caught by the dog, so up they ran. One leapt onto the dog's tail and one clawed at his hind legs. The dog turned to snap at the two cats, and that just gave Smoky the chance to jump right over the wall and run home. She hid behind the sofa, panting and puffing. She felt very silly and very much ashamed. "I've been so vain and foolish that I nearly got caught by a dog," she said to herself. "I shall let my claws grow very, very long. Oh, how I hate the look of them now. Silly, useless nails." That evening, Smoky told Cinders and Tabby how sorry she was for being so silly, and she thanked them for saving her. "If it hadn't been for your good strong claws, I would be chewed up by that horrid dog by now," she said. "Forgive me for being vain and foolish. I see now that I am not at all clever. Please teach me to catch mice when my claws have grown." "Very well," said Cinders. "Maybe your mistress will like you better still if you have claws to catch mice with instead of nails to make you vain." Cinders was right. Smoky's mistress was delighted when she began to catch mice. "I thought you were a silly, beautiful cat without any brains at all," she said, hugging Smoky. "But now I see you're as clever as you are beautiful."